Hello everyone, this is a quick demo just showing you how to set up your master Excel file for your school placement. So the basic idea is that each of you are going to have to get a memory stick for your school placement module. You're moving now from observing classes and helping out to teaching your own classes. So you're going to have a lot more paperwork and planning and resources for the lessons that you're actually planning. So this master Excel template is going to be a way to coordinate that and make it easier for your supervisor and yourself to locate all the information. So to start with, if you go on to School Placement 2 on Learn Online, and if you scroll down, you'll see a number of templates. So we have our timetable template, your scheme, your lesson plan template, observations, and so on and so forth. And you also have your master template, which is an Excel file. So if you just click on that, you can save that as and save that onto your memory stick. So your memory stick, you should name your memory stick, your name and ID number, and make sure you have a tag on the memory stick with the same, so it can be easily identified. So I'm going to just save this onto the computer, so I'm going to save it into a sample SP template folder just for the purpose of this, but you will have your own memory stick. So I'm going to save that like so, and I'm just going to open it up like that. So opening it up, here we're in an Excel file. You can see there's a number of pre-set up tabs along the bottom. You have your administration tab, which is going to be where you're going to put in all your administration related information. So your reflections week by week, your school information, so you can create a Word document and save that into with the contact, get a copy of the mission statement of the school, the staff members, only the staff members that you're going to be dealing with, so your cooperating teachers, your rooms and aids. So if you're rearranging the room, you'll have maybe a PowerPoint or a Word or even a Paint document of just the new room layout, so you can put that in there. You have linked to your timetable and your class list, so that's the roll call. Likewise, you can have a Word document with just a link of the school website, just to give a sense of what the school is about, and then the relevant syllabi. So depending on which syllabi you're going to be dealing with, so if you've got a double class, or the class you're going to be teaching is a double class of technical graphics, then you'll have the technical graphics syllabi. Likewise for technology would. And then as you go along, you're going to hyperlink in each of your weekly observations like so. Same thing applies as you get your reports, you'll be able to hyperlink them there, so that once you click on this, it's just going to open up the relevant document. Likewise, we have a tab here for directions for the school. So again, you create a Word document and you can have your contact for the school itself, so that's the principal and the reception. You have a map, so if you go onto the AA Route Finder or Google Maps, you can put in the directions to the school from GMIT, so that's GMIT in the main campus. You can save that, add it to a Word document, and we'll hyperlink that in here. Same thing applies, that's going to be a map. Then we have the directions for the school, which you can get or print out from Google Maps or let's say the AA Route Finder. You then have one of say a page for each of your subjects. So because you're only going to be teaching one particular subject, you only have to deal with the one that's relevant to you. So if MTW is the one that's relevant to you, you're going to be just dealing with it. You're not going to need these other ones here. You can ignore those. So here with MTW, we can see we have 2 years set up. So year 1, year 2. If you're only going to be taking one class, so if you're taking say year 1, say first year, you only need to worry about this portion of it here. If it's year 2, you need to worry about that, and you can delete that. So let's say you're taking first year MTW. Well, then you can just select these here and just go up here to clear and clear all. So that's gone. So you don't need to worry about that. That's gone. The idea then of the template is that you're going to be able to hyperlink in to each of your lessons. So straight away, same way with your scheme of work. So what we're going to do is on your memory stick, you're going to create a series of folders for each of the relevant tabs, and you're going to sort them out into individual folders. So the ones we're going to worry about at the moment is the administration, directions, and the MTW. So I'm going to open up the file. So this is the same as the file on your memory stick. We're going to leave the master template. I'm just going to rename him for the moment. So I'm just going to just shut this guy down here to save him at the moment, so I'll be able to rename him. And the master template, I'm just going to rename him. So rename it your name, and I'm just going to put in G number, so G00123455. So that's going to be your master template. And then I'm going to create a number of folders. So a folder for each of our tabs. So a new folder which was administration. There was one for directions. And then there's going to be one for the class MTW, which is the one that we're taking. If it's TG, you'll have a TG folder. So there's each of our folders like that. And this is where you're going to sort and put all your information into it. So let's look at here, open up the actual Excel file, enable editing. So let's say we're going to have our scheme of work for our MTW class. So I'm going to go back onto Learn Online, and I'm just going to download my scheme template for MTW. So scheme template, I'm going to save that onto the memory stick, or in this case my folder, and I'm going to put it into the MTW one, just in the general file itself, and it's going to say MTW scheme. You can call it first year, you can narrow it down if you want. So save, and I'm just going to, so I'm not going to, you can fill that in then as you, and we'll go through that in class, but for your Excel sheet, what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to your scheme of work box like that, right click on it, and you're going to hyperlink. So down to hyperlink here, and you can find a existing file or web page. So I'm going to go into my file. So you can see I'm looking in my sample SP template. So you're going to be your memory stick. I'm going to go into the MTW folder, and I'm just going to click on the file and click OK. And that's it then. You can see the text here has changed and it's now blue and underlined. So as you click on that, a little hand appears and it automatically opens up that. So when you create your scheme, you will hyperlink that, and that's now linked to your Excel file. We're going to do the same then with our lessons. So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4. So because you're going to have resources for each lesson, what you can do is in your folder here like that, so we're into our MTW folder, you can see our scheme, and I can just going to create a number of files, week 1. Or that can be lesson 1. Well, you'll only have one lesson per week, so it can be just week 1, week 2, week 3. Maybe next year when you're in 3rd year and you might have the same class for numerous times during the week, you can just go lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, that kind of way. So folder week, so week 2, and so on and so forth. You can create, week 1 for each of your weeks on teaching practice. So into week 1, let's go and back onto our thing, and that's what we're going to put in our lesson plan. So lesson plan template here, I'm going to save that into my week 1 folder. So on your memory stick, week 1, and just go lesson plan LP week 1 and save that. That's great. I'm not going to open it for the moment, but then you might want to have, say, some resources as well for that. So here we are, MTW week 1, and I just have a couple of sample resources here. So files for the demo. So let's say you have, you're going to show a video, you're going to introduce the project, you might going to look at MTW and MTG. So these 3 files are going to be your resources for that particular class. So I'm just going to copy them there, and I'm going to put them into week 1. So like so. So when the person goes, or when the supervisor arrives and they take the memory stick from yourself, they sit at the back of the class with their computer, and they're able to go into lesson 1, right click on it there, you're going to have hyperlinked it, and it'll be MTW week 1, and I'm just going to highlight the folder for week 1. So click OK. So that is now hyperlinked. So when the supervisor comes and clicks lesson 1, yes, it's going to open it up, and there they can see lesson plan week 1 and any resources that they might particularly need. So it's going to be very, very easy to do that. One thing was mentioned in class: what happens if you're going to be constantly reusing the same resources? So with things like, say, your PowerPoint, you can break it up into lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, so your PowerPoint can be broken up with that. But if you're using, say, something like working drawings for a particular project, so, or if you're constantly referring back to the brief for the snake project, well, in that case there, I'm not going to put it into my week 1 resources. I'm actually going to take it out of that, and I'm going to create an entirely separate new folder, and I'm just going to, or I can even just leave it loose if I wanted to, but it's going to be, in its own place. So this is common resources. and in that I'm going to put in the brief. So then up here on my in my Excel sheet like that, I can just put in brief, project brief. Like so. Just maybe put a bit of color to that. So project brief like that. And again, hyperlink that in. So hyperlink, and that's in the MTW. It's in my common resources brief snake for project. Okay, so now when that's selected, it's automatically going to open up the brief itself. So there is an example of how you will set up your document. Same thing applies then with your administration. So you'll be linking these into each of your relevant files, and you can see we've already created our various folders in the actual file itself. So administration then is going to be filled with all these various components here. So your timetable, so on and so forth. Directions is going to be likewise exactly the same here. It's going to link in with your contacts, your map, and your directions, like so. And that is pretty much it. I mean, so that's going to need to be kept in order each week as you go along. So each lesson plan, each resources are going to constantly have to be updated. Essentially, your supervisor, that's all they're going to ask for, that memory stick, and that everything should be on that. They shouldn't have to ask you for anything else or anything additional. If you have things like, say, if you're using the likes of the Blackboard, at the end of class you can take a photo of the Blackboard and you can include that again on a Word document or just as an image, and that can be linked into it just to show that you have used the Blackboard as proof that you actually did use the resource that you set out in your lesson plan. And anything else then with that? Yeah, at the end of the school placement, you'll be submitting that memory stick, and that will go as part of your assessment then for your planning. So that's the basic idea of it. We expect to have the basic idea, so your administration and direction of school should be set up before you start to take over classes. So this is something that's going to have to be done for the new year, and we expect to see that in the new year. You don't want to end up in a situation where a supervisor is going to come out and that is not filled in, because that means that you haven't actually prepared or planned. So that's something you definitely don't want. That's pretty much it then. So yeah, all I can say is best of luck with it, and yeah, we'll see you in school placement.